I know there's some heavy hitting stuff, but let's now jump into the arguments. Okay. This is what you're all here for. Okay. Look at ways 1, 2, 3 in Thomas Aquinas. Now, there are a couple of different sources on this. You can use newadvent.org. That's one source. I like Fredosso's. Let me put this in the chat. Fredosso's Summa. If you just Google that, you'll find it right away. And in fact, I just learned today he's switching his URL to another host site. He's a emeritus professor in Notre Dame. He's been translating the whole thing. His translation's actually good. But we find this argument in Aquinas's Summa, and then we find it also in his Summa contra Gentiles, or against the Gentiles, is non-believers. This argument, if we're just thinking about ways 1, 2, 3, which is the focus of today's live stream, this is why I bundled them together. There are 5 ways, sure, but these first 3 ways are very, very, very similar. If you just think about the first 3 ways and take them all together as just one argument, really, you can see that it's got a long history, accepted by philosophers from all these great traditions throughout history. You have ancient pagan philosophers, Greek and Roman. You have Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Indian in the 10th century, early modern European. It is an argument that has been developed and endorsed widely, almost universally, for over 2,500 years. Here are the names of those philosophers. You've got Plato and Aristotle, ancient Greece. You've got Plotinus, an ancient Roman. You've got Maimonides, Jewish. Al-Farabi and Avicenna and Averroes are Muslim. Udayana is that Indian philosopher we just mentioned from the era in the 10th century. Of course, you got medieval Christian scholars and philosophers, the scholastic. You've got early modern philosophers, most of whom are Christian. And then you've even got modern day guys from the 20th century and even up to today. Some of these guys are still living. Richard Swinburne, I've met him. He's still living. Last I heard, he's maybe in his 80s or 90s. Tim O'Connor and Alex Proust, again, like I borrowed the content of most of the content of this PowerPoint from Rob Coons. So he mentions both of these in there, but it just so happens that 2 of these guys, Tim O'Connor and Alex Proust, are professors of mine, old professors of mine. So here's why I say this and why I include this and continue to include it in this PowerPoint, that if these guys over this long of a period, I'm not saying that this is an appeal to authority, but if this many people, this many traditions over this long of a time have endorsed these arguments as worthwhile and something to keep an eye on and something that they think is true and convincing and persuasive. If I'm coming to this like a very skeptical, atheist or something, that should at least give me pause to think, okay, I should at least listen to these, right? And the fact that you guys are here, perfect. I'm glad that you are, because you're at least going to listen to these arguments. Many people, like if I raise this online with just your everyday run-of-the-mill kind of internet philosopher kind of person, I don't know who these people are, because many people are, on Reddit or YouTube. They're anonymous to me many times. If you raise these sorts of things, that, they may just say, well, yeah, I've read the 5 ways and they're not that convincing. They're not that persuasive. Well, I don't know if you fully understand the 5 ways. That's the deal. And to dismiss it that easily when all of these famous philosophers and all these great traditions have endorsed that and thought they were persuasive seemed to me like a connection error here. There's some sort of you're not seeing things, you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting. So that's why I like to look at these. Of course, if you're not subscribed, let this be a reminder from my wife to make sure you subscribe. And I look forward to hearing from you next time. Take care.